Okay, so I'm going to show how to make this little drawing. This is just a super quick little doodle of a snowman. Start by giving him his main body. And if you notice, he's a little smaller here than he is down here, and make sure his sides are nice and rounded. I'll move this up so you can see it better. And then bring in his little head, and his head is the same thing. Make them nice and rounded here, bring it up just a little bit, and then level off the top. And you can fill in if you miss a spot. It's not a big deal. This is just a doodle. So, okay, next you're going to give the rim of his hat and give it nice rounded puffy edges since it's supposed to be a little hat. When you do the top of the hat, come up and don't go to a total point. Kind of give yourself a little flat spot. And I'm just going to bend my hat down a little bit because I don't want it to look quite so perfect on the one side. You can bend it however you want. In the first drawing I did, you can see I just kind of bent it like that. I do it a little bit different each time, so do whatever works for you. And then at the top of his hat, give him his little puff. And that's why we made it flat on top, so that we have that little puff going on there. I'm going to give him some little sections along the band of his hat here. You can do whatever you like along the band. If you want to make it a plaid with your colored pencils, or just leave it plain and make it a stripe, that's fine too. And I want to give him a cute little face. So just there. I'm going to make this kind of a C. This is where his carrot is. So make it a little bit of a backward C, or just a slight bit of an angle, because you got to think about how that carrot would look. And then draw a triangle out from that. I'm going to put two little segments in his triangle, and then give him a cute little smile. And notice the smile is offset just a little bit. It just kind of makes it, I think it makes his face look a little bit cuter. So now I'm going to do his scarf. Now when I do his scarf, I only come over part way, because we have the parts of the scarf here that are hanging down. So when you do that, you want to intersect and have that part that would have been folded over. And that's nice and long, and I kind of round it off at the ends and bring it back up. Then I finish off my scarf here, and then I make my second little piece of the scarf that would be hanging down. And I like for my scarves to have just this little frilly at the bottom there. Give them a couple little buttons. I think I'll do 3 buttons on this one. I only did 2 on the last one. Give him a couple buttons. And then for his arms, we're going to do that little tiny C, just like we did up there for that carrot nose. And then have his little stick arm come up, and you can make the stick shaped however you want. I kind of like it when they have an extra little piece on it like that, and have it come down to where the C, you know, where it went into the body there. And again here, just a little tiny C shape. I think it looks a little better than when it's just perfectly flat. And again, go up and make that arm shape however you want that stick to look like that you've collected for his little arm. Okay, so that's it for the drawing. So now I color. So when I color, I like it when things look, you'll see here on his hat, see how it's much darker in these areas, and then it kind of goes out to this real light area. And that's super simple. All you're doing when you take your colored pencil is you're just pushing a little bit harder in that area. So it's a nice, firm, dark area there. I just like that kind of shading that happens in doodles. I think it gives the doodles a little bit more, I don't know, not really a 3D look, but just a little bit more depth to the character. So I give a little dark area, and then I get lighter. And I tend to just kind of do light all over. Just fill in all the area here. I'm working kind of quick so that I can just get to the next step for y'all. I don't need to take 10 minutes just to color a picture. So I tend to fill it all in light, and then I go back in and kind of make my middle area, decide how far over I want that depth of color to come, and just press a little less and a little less each time to make it lighter and lighter as you go across the page. And then here too, in my stripes, I start with a nice dark, I'm really pushing that pencil hard, and then I come up nice and light and just kind of fill in. And like I said, I just feel like it kind of gives that little depth, just a little bit more character than if you just leave it one flat color. You'd really be surprised if you colored a picture twice and you did once with this hard edge, you know, this darker area, and then made it softer, and then do another one where you just do the whole picture in just kind of a soft color, and you'll see exactly what I mean, how it really kind of changes your picture, and it brings a little something extra to it. So I'm doing the same thing with my green, going real hard at first and then just real soft and just kind of filling in. We're just doodling, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Same up top. I'm going to start nice and hard at the top of his pom-poms. And then just come down nice and soft and fill in. And then I'll go fill in the middle with just kind of a medium pressure there, just to bring it together. All right, give him a little orange nose here. And try to stay in my lines, but work quickly. And same with the brown. I'm pushing pretty firmly here. I'm trying to cover up where you can always do this in pencil, you know, if you're like doing it for a Christmas card or something and you want it to look really nice, you can do your drawing in pencil first, and that way you can actually erase that little section on the body and then go over everything in your pen. And I'm doing the same thing there, just varying my pressure. I'm doing it hard pressure down at the bottom just to cover up where that line is on my body, and then coming up to a lighter pressure up top. Okay, and the scarf, I'm gonna do the same thing. A hard pressure, and I'm just gonna kind of do a hard pressure right across the top here. And then down this part of the scarf, a hard pressure. Just give my scarf a little bit more detail to it here. Okay, now I'll come back and fill in with my really light. And again, I'm trying to move pretty quickly because I don't want to take too long on this video. Now, did you see how I started making lines there? It's because I twisted my pencil and I accidentally got to a part that was sharp. If you can find the areas of your pencil that are kind of worn down, it does much better on making your nice little shady area. Sometimes you turn your pencil and you accidentally get to an area that's been sharpened, and that's why you all of a sudden get those kind of lines. And that's okay, just go back in and fill them over. Give a little pressure with your pencil and it'll fill in. You haven't ruined anything. What's that Bob Ross used to say about happy accidents? It's all fixable, no big deal. Art is all about allowing yourself to make mistakes and then figuring out which mistakes you want to keep. Now I'm just filling in my middle area. So you see we go from dark to light. I just kind of like how that looks. All right, and I gave my snowman a little snow. No big deal, it's just kind of a little asterisk. So I make an X and then I fill in once and then I fill in again. So, and no rhyme or reason, I just kind of go around little Mr. Snowman here. I make some smaller than others. Come out here, I'll make a big one. Make a few on this side. And you can leave out the snow if you want. You can always get fancy and do 2 different colors of pens. You could always use a glitter pen if you maybe have a silver glitter pen or something like that. Just depends on what you have. I just have a couple of my ink pens with me today and my colored pencils. I'm kind of lazy today. I don't feel like getting up and getting any of my other more decorative stuff. I just wanted to doodle a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna have my snow come down and I want a little bit of snow on the ground. And again, I'm not getting fancy. I'm doing cross hatching. And all cross-hatching is, it just means that you make lines one direction, and then you come back and you make lines a different direction. That is all cross-hatching is. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. When I do it, I normally go several different directions. If you're trying to use cross-hatching for shading, then you can get real fine and get your lines real close to each other down here and then come up larger. If you want a dark area, more shady, get your lines real close and then come up larger. But however fancy or intricate you want to get, I just kind of want a little bit of blue area below him, so I'm just throwing some lines in here, going all willy-nilly, just to give the idea that there's some blueness on the ground, a little bit of snow down there. Nothing fancy, he's just a doodle. So anyways, there's my little snowman. Let me hold the camera up so you can see him. He's just a little fun doodle. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a Merry Christmas.